come with me on a pilgrimage for mothers here in Rome. Today we are going on pilgrimage to honor Saint Monica. Monica was the mother of the great Saint Augustine. Monica is the patron saint of mothers, and so it's very fitting that we should go on pilgrimage to honor her. Monica had 3 children. 2 of them were faithful Christians, but the eldest was Augustine. He was a genius and a very strong-willed person, and he left the church in his youth. When he was a teenager, he went off to school in Carthage, and by the time he came home, he had announced to Monica that he had left the faith. She was furious, sent him away, broke off relation with him, and they really weren't on speaking terms for a long period of time. Years later, Monica was prompted in a dream to reunite with her son Augustine, which she immediately did. But there were still many years of his leaving the faith, of his secular lifestyle, his anti-Christian choices that she constantly wept and prayed over. Augustine had a mistress. He basically was living with his girlfriend. In the 4th century, you call that a concubine, but he was basically just living with his girlfriend, and they had a child essentially out of wedlock. Augustine also had joined a cult, the Manichees, and this cult was antithetical to Christianity, and that's what really broke Monica's heart more than anything else. He went to Rome and then later to Milan, and Monica followed him both to Rome and then to Milan. Augustine was away from the church for 17 years, and throughout the whole time, Monica was praying for him night and day. She was blessed to witness his conversion as well as his baptism. He was baptized in the cathedral in Milan by St. Ambrose. Augustine became a Christian, and then he became a monk, a priest, and he wrote so much theology. He became one of the great doctors of the church and the father of Western theology. Augustine is one of the great pillars of the Catholic Church, and his conversion and his life as a Christian really traces back to his mother, to Monica. Augustine says of Monica, "She was more than my mother. She was the source of my Christianity." He also says, "Monica conceived me twice." Without Monica, we would have no Saint Augustine. Monica is the perfect patron saint for mothers because Monica struggled. Monica never had one moment where everyone in her family was a practicing Christian. She herself was a Christian, and yet her husband and her son both were outside of the church for different times. Never was there a time when they were all Christians together. I can only imagine how disappointing that would have been for Monica. Monica is the patron saint of mothers precisely because she didn't have the perfect family. She's the perfect intercessor for us and the perfect ally and advocate in heaven because so many of us struggle in our vocation as mothers. Being a mother has greatly enriched my life. It has made me a fuller, richer, more blessed person. My children are a blessing to me, but I have burdens and struggles that I would not have if I were not a mother. Monica is the one who understands all of those things. She is the one to whom we can come today. On this pilgrimage, I invite you to name your burdens and then bring them into the church. Bring them to the burial site of Monica, where her body lay. Just to the left of the high altar, there is a chapel dedicated to Saint Monica, and the walls are replete with frescoes of her life.